Now, you guys probably looked at the title and are thinking, Blocky, what the hell is wrong with you? Are you serious, man? Now, just hear me out for a little while. Highschool DxD is actually a really good series that has well written and amazing cast, amazing fights, and an interesting story, and overall it's just a fun series to watch. Obviously there are a lot of ecchi moments in the series, and that is what the series is mostly known for, and even I thought that it was just going to be ecchi trash when I first went into it. But I was thoroughly surprised to see that that wasn't the case, because the story and characters really captivated me, and the ecchi is mostly used as comedy and nothing more than that, so it doesn't take away from anything in the story, which is cool. This series knows what it is and doesn't try to hide the fact that it is trash, but at the same time they managed to actually write a really interesting story with awesome characters, which is amazing. The fourth season is very controversial for a lot of reasons, from the animation style to the fact that it's censored where the rest of the season wasn't. But this season has something better than the other 3 seasons, which is that it covers the best arc of the story thus far. I was most interested in what was going on in this season over the previous 3 seasons, and yeah, it took me a while to get used to the art style, but once I did, it didn't really bother me anymore and actually looked quite good too. I still like the old style more though. Despite what I just said though, the entire story is interesting, it's just that season 4 covers what is arguably the best part of the story. Highschool DxD has handled everything extremely well, it knows what it is and it doesn't try to dance around that, which just makes the series a lot better because there is no holding back for this series and that just allows the story and characters to really shine through the trashy elements and make the series a really fun watch, which is awesome. If I haven't convinced you that this series is great from this section here, then watch the rest of the video. I promise you I will convince you to check this series out, and you will see that this series is unironically amazing from the characters to the story, and honestly from a guy who hates the most ecchi, even the ecchi in this series is cool, which is awesome for those of you who like ecchi. Alright, as I mentioned quite a bit in the first part of the video, the characters are all really well written. The only part of their character that is off is the fact that they all fall in love with their protagonist for some of the most minor of reasons, but besides that, they're all well written and interesting characters. They each have compelling backstories, and as we learn more about each of the characters in the series, you really start to like and care for each of them, which is cool. The fact that the characters all treat each other like family makes you almost feel like you're a part of that family as well. The characters have all been super interesting. I have loved to learn about each of their backstories and what compels them to do what they do, or why they act a certain way, and why they cling to Ria so much. All of their reasons were quite interesting, and really made the characters come alive. All of the characters have their own special reason for following Rias and staying by her side, and each of these reasons makes the characters feel a lot more human, or in this case devilish, which is cool. I love the world this series presents to us. The world in this series is really interesting to learn about as we get further into the series. They start to build upon things we already knew as we get further into the story to expand the lore while also keeping everything consistent. At the start, we thought there was only 4 factions: humans, devils, fallen angels, and angels. But as we get further into the story, slowly they start revealing more types of people and more types of gods that expand the lore nicely while also being very consistent with what we already know. The powers in this world are also cool. There are a lot of different means of getting power, from magic to holy power to even items called sacred gears. All of these powers are awesome and they each have their own purpose for existing in this world. Visiting different parts of the world is also cool. As we go further into the story, the Devil's Realm and also getting to see the Pure Void is also cool. Everything this series has set up for the world is also quite interesting and cool. I would love for them to make more seasons of the anime as this series has been a blast to go through. This series looks amazing. Like seriously, this series, especially its first 3 seasons, look really good. I love the character designs and the world as a whole looks really good. Highschool DxD knows how to get you invested just by the art and character designs, but considering its heavy focus on ecchi elements of this series, I guess that makes sense that the characters would look really nice. The animation in this series also looks really good as well, even the 4th season. If anything, the newer art style made the animation better and more fluid than the older art style did by having the fights more dynamic and epic than previously. The fight animation in this series does look really good. There are also some moments where you can sit there being like, why does this look like that? But for the most part the animation, especially in the fights, is really good and works really well with the series as a whole, which is cool. The music in this series is actually quite good. The music knows how to pull you into the series and make you like the series more than you otherwise would have. The OPs are all quite good as well, as they really reflect the type of series and specific season this is going to be. The music is used very well, especially in the more heart-wrenching moments, in which there are surprisingly a lot of, that just really get those emotions flowing in a way that I didn't expect to see from a series like this. The music has this really captivating feeling to it that just draws you into the scenes it's used in perfectly and makes everything feel so nice, and the music fits with this series so well. The music knows exactly what type of story this is, and it works with it well to make the scenes that much better. Highschool DxD is an unironically really good series. Highschool DxD has really well written characters that each have their own interesting backstories that really define who they are as people. This series also looks amazing. Highschool DxD knows how to play around with its premise a lot to make for a really interesting world and story that weirdly pulls you in despite the massive amounts of ecchi in this series. When I went into this series, I thought it was just going to be another ecchi trash show like a lot of other anime out there. But this series actually surprised me with how good the story and characters were, and it really helped me to like this series despite the fact that I'm not a huge fan of ecchi. So you should check Highschool DxD out if you thought the series was just going to be more ecchi trash, because I think you will be thoroughly surprised just like I was.